of the Black LGBT community.
It did not.
Did not.
Pero eso no cumplió con las necesidades de la comunidad negra.
So, for example, if you were LGBT and of color, if you went to the regular Pride, which she mentioned was, which Anna said is usually in June, which ours was, you can go and you can take advantage of the fair. You know, the thing they sell, the food they sell, the excitements, the parties, the sit and watch the parade, all of that stuff. But it didn't speak to you as a African American individual or a person of color. So someone 16 years ago decided, no, we should do our own Pride. And so find out what we need and provide it to our community. So that's what started it. And so 16 years later, we have Black Gay Pride. So, and I tell people it's like this. When they say, why do you have two prides? I say, why do we have different religions? You know, because it's like, Catholic people worship where they worship. Episcopalians worship where they worship. Church of God in Christ worships where they worship. And then, of course, because people's needs were getting met on a religious and spiritual level, they started the MCC churches. Because now I can go and I don't have to have people telling me I'm dying and going to hell, and by the way, give me your money. You know.
Para que la gente no dijera, mire, usted se va a morir, se va a llegar al purgatorio, ¿y por qué no me da su dinero?
And then to speak to your political question, we, during the workshops and the community summit and the marketplace, during our Pride weekend, we have spaces for all the political pieces to happen. Like the Georgia Democrats, we give them a booth. We have another political arm that does voter registration. So we have various different things going on so that we are involved in politics, but we have to make sure we follow the rules and regulations of our 501c3 so that we don't put that in jeopardy.
Right, somos amigos, ¿verdad? Entonces, quiero hacer una como pregunta muy incorrecta políticamente hablando. Okay. Y te lo digo porque lo veo en la ciudad y no es porque diga que lo hacen aquí, pero quiero que me digas si lo hacen, qué onda, cómo lo manejan, pero me refiero a 16 años me parece que llevan haciendo la marcha, mucho tiempo. ¿Ha sido la misma organización? Si ha sido la misma organización, yo llegaría a pensar, 16 años, ya saben cómo hacerlo. Y hablábamos un poquito acerca de por qué a veces la necesidad de hacer dos marchas distintas. Y muchas de las veces, por lo que he visto con muchos, yo soy muy joven y quizá sin experiencia, pero por lo poco que he visto, creo que es por el poder y el dinero, y que no quieren ser compartidos. En dado caso que así sea, que compartamos tanto México como Atlanta y los Estados Unidos esta situación del poder y el dinero, porque lo siento, la marcha tiene un poder económico grande. ¿Tienen problemas ustedes después de 16 años? Este tipo de problemas, estos señalamientos de decir, ¿por qué 16 años? Ya me toca a mí. Yo, como activista joven, digo, ya, ¿no? 16 años, déjenme a mí hacerlo. ¿Tienen este tipo de problemas? Y si lo tienen, ¿cómo lo enfrentan? ¿Cómo lo trabajan? ¿Cómo son incluyentes? ¿Cómo va la dinámica?
Yes. All your stuff. I got involved with this organization. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I've only been in Atlanta for 14 years. And I would come visit Black Gay Pride weekend when I was in Ohio. I'd fly here or drive. And I would see, and then I would get involved. And one of my best friends was part of this organization. And I started getting involved when I moved here. More and more involved. And then about 7 or 8 years ago, I joined the board. And in 2008, when they did the inauguration for Obama, they were doing my inauguration into ITLA. So I got elected their president. And one of the things that I did that hadn't been done prior was meet with the Atlanta Pride Committee, which is white and 40 years old, to say, what can we do together? Because there was an Hispanic male on their board who said, let me call Raymond and say hello and introduce myself and say, let's talk about what we do. And so collectively, we started doing events together. We both understand that we do two different things. So it's a collaboration, and people don't understand collaboration. Collaboration says, you make pies, I make cake. We can get together and have a bake sale, and everybody can benefit from your pies and my cake. As opposed to you making pies and I'm making pies, and we're fighting for, I want their dollars. And so what do you need to do to get their dollars, and what do I need to do? And if I come to where you're set up selling your pies, it's going to be a problem. So the money and power is different in the white community because they've started all of this stuff. They started the gay, the gay organizations were started by the white community. The lesbian and gay centers were started by the white communities. The HIV/AIDS organizations were started by the white communities. The pride marches, parades, what have you, were started by the white community. All of the things that have gay on them, homosexual, LGBT on them, were started by them. They have the political power because some of the politicians are gay, their partners are gay. They work in these corporate America facilities, Delta, Coca-Cola. They have those connections. They have those gay organizations at those big companies, and they're white. So when they have needs, when they need sponsors, when they need guest speakers, they get them like that. If there's a star that they need to come to speak at Pride or perform at Pride, it's probably one of their friends or one of their buddies. Somebody knows somebody, and they'll do it as a favor. Now, if you take that same dynamic and apply it to the black gay community, we don't have those connections, and those people who we do reach out to, the first thing is money. How much what you going to give me? I'm not doing this for free. I need to get paid. And they'll ask for plane fare and hotel and food and all of these astronomical things plus a check. And we can't afford that. We're a non-profit organization. We don't have money, so we go after sponsors. But when we go after sponsors, they'll give us $2,000, $5,000, $10,000. But when the white community goes after these same sponsors, they'll give them $50,000, $40,000, stuff like that. So when we have to put on our events, we have to beg and rob Peter to pay Paul. And everybody comes wanting to do stuff, but they want to get paid to do it. So although we've been doing this for 16 years and people go, well, you've been doing this for 16 years, why y'all can't come together and have just one pride? Because Atlanta Pride is going to get lost in Black Pride, and Black Pride is going to get lost in Atlanta Pride, and we won't know what's going on. It would be wonderful to have one pride, because I tell you, it's a job putting it on every year. But what I started to do in 2008 when I became president was start to bridge the gap between the two organizations so that we could move one day toward one major event that pulls everything together one time a year and we're done with it. As long as we can still get our needs met. Because if you guys came here as a delegation and wanted to have a Mexican pride, you would probably run into the same problems that we run into, unless, of course, you have all of those allies who were able to bring money in. Like when I go to people and ask for sponsorship, For example, I don't know if you're familiar with Gilead Pharmaceuticals. They make an HIV med called Truvada and Sustiva. And so when I go after them for funding, I ask for $5,000. You know, really, initial, I'll say, can I have $100,000? Because I know for one black gay male to take Sustiva for a whole year, it's probably about $100-something thousand. That's just one person. And there are millions of clients on that drug. But when I ask for that, they're not going to give me that. They look at me like I'm crazy. And I'll say, you made this much money off this person because they don't have insurance, they had to pay for this out of their pocket. So if you can give me that as a sponsorship, you know, that will pay for my whole price. One major sponsor, the rest of them will just be gravy. 5,000. This year, they said no, because of the economy, we don't have the money, we can't afford to do it, but we'll buy an ad in your guide for $900. We can't do, can you imagine going from 5,000 to last year to 900 this year? And so, but if the white organizations went after them, they would reach them from another level that we are not at yet. And so they would get what they need. And so you're right, it's financial, it's political, and it's about power. And who has the insights, the inroads. I mean, our HRC is the same way here. I don't know if you guys have Human Rights Campaign, but HRC is the same here. They're based in DC. They do all kinds of wonderful, fabulous things. But when I ask them for money to sponsor, they don't have money. But they want a table, a booth at the marketplace so they can sign up new members. And I'm like, but you want us to donate the booth for free and let you sign up new members at $5, $10, $25, $100 for membership. But you're trying to do diversity in your organization, but you don't want to sponsor us. But in May, when you have your big gala dinner, you want us to pay $200 a person for a plate, you know, and $1,000 for a table. So that's what we face on a regular basis, being black, being gay, and trying to put on an event.
Entonces,